Big up, big up, big up, big up to all my Reds out there. This is Liverpool 12th Man. We're going to do a review show today. I know that a lot of us are a little bit in the dumps from the results that we had. But I am going to be showing some graphs and stuff like that and stats and such to kind of give some kind of conception of what we witnessed yesterday. I know that the eye test merchants are probably out there going to go very, very strong against a lot of what I got to say possibly. But you'll be surprised that there's going to be some today, some of what I say that's probably going to be in line with what your feelings from this past weekend were. And, we're going to hopefully be able to get through this and then, move on to this League Cup game that we have against a very formidable foe in West Ham, who's looking to properly do very similar act in putting a more concerted effort in trying to get a result for sure. But they're, unfortunately for themselves, they'll have to try a very, very tactful way of trying to get a result, considering they have to get a result in the sense of a W. So we're going to do our best to go through a lot of these different ways and different plays and different says. Big up to Keep It Level. Big up to Chris Angel from Bejan Reds TV. Big up to all those that are watching this on the replay or are going to be tuning in maybe later on or about to tune in or, watch on the replay or watch this live. Let's just break into it, because I really was one of the many that was hoping to get a result, and not only get a result, but get a overwhelming result like we did last year. I knew we were playing. Let me say this. I knew we were playing our rivals this week. I had complete understanding we're playing our rivals this week, but I didn't know it would be the Red Devils going to Anfield dressed as Everton. Like, I thought should we call them the Blue Devils now? Because literally that's exactly what happened. Was they came in and they just said, we're going to park this bus, throw a boot on it, and not worry one little bit about how many shots you get off. And that's just that, and hopefully we just hope for the best. And that's what they got. I mean, there's been comments left and right about VVD made, our captain made a post-match interview, obviously. And in that interview, he said there was only one team that was trying to win the game. That's a direct quote. And I honestly do believe that is a sincere and very valid statement. Now, I know that there has been a lot of pushback. I mean, according to some of the bigger name platforms, saying comments like this about a 0-0 draw are arrogant. That's the word that was used, arrogant. I, on the other hand, completely agree with this take. I completely agree with Virgil van Dijk's take, because it's the honest truth. It's so amazing when some people, when we say things that are truthful, we say things that are honest, and yet that, because it doesn't fit someone's narrative, you get pushback. And that's all well and good, because I guess some could easily say, oh, well, Liverpool 12th man, you're doing the exact same thing. Well, okay. But I do agree with his take. I said the same thing when Everton played us. They were a team facing us that was not going to play. They were just going to sit back and hope that we got a result. Or hope that they got a result, excuse me. And a result being a draw. And if they were fortunate enough, a result being a lucky goal and holding on to a 1-0 lead or something along those lines. There was never going to be the case where they went into Anfield, or Red Devils went to Anfield and tacked up 3, 4, 5, 7. Never was that the case. Never was that the fear in my personal opinion. That was never the fear of myself. I don't think that was the fear of pretty much anyone. I don't think that was think that was a concept in the Blue Devils, in their Blue Devils, mindset as well. Okay, but I think that this take was accurate because the cast of players that the Blue Devils brought out were all devoted to not losing. What could have been another embarrassment? And it ended up being not one. It ended up being an embarrassment for ourselves. And I'm open and willing to say that it was an embarrassment for ourselves. But I believe it was an embarrassment somewhat for the Blue Devils as well. Now this, big up John Conway, big up. I wanted to say it was an embarrassment for a lot of people. I think it was an embarrassment for the fact that this game is such a coveted game that it didn't provide anything of the box office style, antics or developments that we all were looking to see or hoping to see. Some fun, football basically. I watched Sturridge and I watched Roy Keane go back and forth about whether it was arrogance to say a comment like VVD said. I watched them, I equally so, and people are saying equally so, that it was arrogant to even think we would demolish an absolute shell of not only a team, but a club from top to bottom. Like the Red Devils are just it's just a travesty as to what you're seeing. Oh, big up to Marion. Big up to Marion Southwards. Pleasure to see you, bro. Pleasure to see you, sister. And joining your fellow brothers here. That's appreciated because we always love it when we have the grace of Marion joining the fold. Big up, Marion. Hope that you're well. But yeah, what I was trying to get at is that I just think that this goes to further evidence. This is just further evidence. Let me just say this, and I stress, this is a very big point. This is just further evidence. My Reds, let me tell you this, further evidence. Have no pity for our rivals. Have no pity for our rivals. We have all, and I know it because I've heard it. I've heard people say, oh, I feel bad for the Red Devils. I feel bad for them. Look at how horrible their team. Oh, it's it used to be like going into these games, there was such really great anticipation and it ended up being great results. And you could see it and feel it on the field and everything. Have no pity for these people. Have no pity for this team. Because realistically, let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. This team does not deserve, this club, their fan bases do not deserve our pity. If we were on, I would say on fire and the analogy of that, but if we were down and on the sidewalk, hurt, the Blue Devils, would simply walk over us or around us before offering a hand to pick us up. And that's just the honest to God truth. If there's ever a time when you have to say and think that the moniker "you'll never walk alone" should mean something, it's now, because realistically, you realize who walks with you, who is walking with us. There's so many people waiting for us to fall, waiting for us to trip up so they can laugh, poke fun, point at, oh, look, the mighty Reds have fallen. And that's not the case. It's just not the case. We did not eat our dinner. I accept that. I completely accept that. But this is just further evidence that Reds have to walk with each other and always support each other, always big up each other, considering that there's going to be every opportunity that it takes is going to be met by our rivals to take whatever narrative they can take. As in, I'm seeing this once historic club, this incredibly accomplished club of the Blue Devils speak about this game as if it's a victory for them. When is the last time, as a Red, you have ever said to yourself, I just want to go into this match and get a draw? Not only, I'm not only talking about just this is rivalry match. I'm talking about any match. Any match. Any match. When have you ever said, I want to go into this match and get a draw? I'm hoping and praying we get a draw. When have you ever said that? But that's what like that is a draw for these Blue Devils is a win. That's the mentality that they're at. And now we're allowing the narratives to be pushed and the agendas to be pushed by these Blue Devils on various platforms. I mean, on whether it's like, national or big publications such as like, Sky Sports or whatever, stuff like that. Or even on like some of the bigger channels on YouTube, such as like, the Football Terrace or, other platforms like that, which are all like welcome and appreciated. Because I watch the Football Terrace routinely. I appreciate Terry. But yeah, man. When is the last time you've ever said that? And that's the kind of mentality, that's the kind of like compliance stuff. I know I often get pushed into the corner because like a lot of my takes tend to be positive. A lot of my takes tend to defend our players and such and yada, yada, our coach, our club. And I'm willing to be constructive with my criticism, as in like you're going to see I'm bringing up some statistics and some highlights to kind of bring up the concepts of why, we should feel somewhat short-ended or, with shortchanged with the results that we got from this weekend. We all were looking for better and bigger results. None of us had this mindset of saying that we're going to get this kind of result. But rivalry games are different. They certainly are. But I just think that like having pity for these rivals and allowing for them to sit there and go about all these concepts about how like as acting as if a draw is a win, for them it is. And I'm willing to say a draw for us is a loss. It is. It feels like a loss. That's the difference in where our clubs are. That's the difference in what we're contending with. That's the difference in the bar that is set for these two historic clubs that are on two different paths. And that's why I'm so passionate about recognizing the fact that we did not do what we set out to do, and that is get a W at home against our rivals and prepare for us to go into this League Cup game on Wednesday. And then have to go back and face an actual contending title foe in Arsenal this weekend. Now, again, I will admit that I am absolutely disappointed in not getting 3 points, especially since it was in a rival game that was an absolute reverse mirror of the 7-up embarrassment we handed them last year. But again, I said that's the uncertainty of rivalry games. That's the reason why I'm saying all this is because it's the truth of it all. We last year were going into this match into the Anfield matchup against the Blue Devils, and why it was the case is because at that time the Blue Devils were truly Red Devils. They were riding high. They were all about, they were back when it was 10 Hog and not 7 Hog. They were just riding that wave. They were getting all this praise and claim and how he'd come in and reverse the direction of this club and everything else and blah, 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 blah. And we, on the other hand, were faced with a lot of uncertainty, a lot of injuries, a lot of different obstacles in our way to getting back to the forms that we had seen the last 5, 7, 8 years or whatever it was, that we've been appreciative. Actually, it's coming on 8 years now of this Klopp era, and that's what it was for me. It was like a reverse mirror of that fixture, because going into that game, we were the team that was looking to not get embarrassed, and we came out and actually smacked them, did a prodigy on them. But now the case is reversed in the sense that we are riding high and they're in the gutter. and they got what they wanted, which is not to be embarrassed. So it's just very interesting to me. I know we've got some really cool people in the chat today, and let's get into some of these comments before I get into some of what we need to do, which is really just, verbalize, get it out, have this little vent session, do a quick ratings if we and then move on to this League Cup game, because and I am going to be as bold, have a very bold comment at the end about this as well. I have to get through these comments because and you guys can take what it is with that comment that I'm about to unleash pretty soon. But yeah, I just think that it's a pleasure to see all the names that are popping up in the chat here. LC Aaron, big up to you, brother. Again, Marion Southwards, pleasure to see you, sister. Chris Angel in the house. John Conway, keep it level. All you guys, big up to each and every one of you guys in the house. All definitely devout Mighty Reds Army in the house for sure. But let's see, what have we got to say? Chris Angel is saying, I need to unwind. That game was such a disappointment. Trying to win, but we didn't. This is Chris Angel saying, trying to win, but we didn't, so it doesn't matter. Okay, I got you. Okay. I don't know how to comment back off of that one, but okay. Again, big up to John Conway. Marion is saying hello to us and everyone in the house. Let's see. Chris Angel is saying, you're saying embarrassment is the dark side slipping out of you. Yes, I know. Just a little bit. I told you I have a little Sith Lord in me too, Chris Angel. What is funny is they called Mo Salah a Scouse B, man. Man, you are a bunch of idiots. They certainly are. And then let's say we did say it a whole bunch last season though, and yeah. Let me just get into this stuff too though, because I might as well just drop this comment too right now, and I'm just saying that, look, you know what, I believe that, call me arrogant, call this arrogance, maybe if Chris Angel might call this a little bit of the dark side, the dark side and Anakin Skywalker right here. But I believe that we will go to Old Trafford and absolutely smack them down. We will go knowing what was performed and happened in this matchup, and we will go to their house. Big up Roster Crab, big up Beijing Reds TV in the house. We will go to Old Trafford and we will do our rendition of Prodigy, okay, of the Prodigy song, and absolutely make up for this debacle, because that's exactly what it was. It was something of a disappointment of a game, matchup, all the differences that we've all spoken on, and it is what it is when it comes to a lot of that. Hopefully I'm going to have some guests possibly show up and join the ratings and show some love that way too. But let's just jump into this. Look, I was on Quasi Bowl TV, and I brought up some of the charts or stats or little displays that I usually bring up on Tactical Tuesday. I didn't want to do a Tactical Tuesday this week because I just don't even really want to get into a lot of why breaking down a lot of the nuances of the game yesterday. But I'm going to do a little bit of that right here and now, just to kind of get over with. So this is what I had a little sneak peek on. So this is basically what this is right here, is the average positioning of our players. Okay. So the average positioning of these players, as you can see, I'm gonna bring the pointer over here. Hopefully you can see the pointer. Yep. This right here obviously is VVD. This is obviously Konate. This is Trent. This is Simicast. So this is our pseudonym back line here. And then as you can see, this is Endo, Ryan, Dom, Mo. This is Lucho, and this is Marion's favorite, Darwin, or Darweezy, as she likes to speak or reference him as. And you can see some kind of shape. You can see at least some type of shape in that, like, you can see that we're focused where we like to focus a lot of it, especially with Trent. We like to focus our attack in the middle of the pitch, and that's what you can kind of see. You can see that it gave Simicast space to go up and down on the left side. It allowed for Ibu and Verge to hold down the middle and with a high line, and it provided us a lot of space for Endo to kind of like fill in the little gap between our two center backs, and allow for this triangle that wasn't a really a defined triangle. I think that like what you saw was Dom was a little bit forced to play further back than he should have. I personally would like to see this not necessarily reversed as in them being on the sides of each other, being like Dom on the left and Gravenberch on the right, but I would like to see more so Dom forward than I would like to see Gravenberch forward, even though Dom is a better defender than Gravenberch, and that's probably why you see him a little bit further, like closer towards the midline than you see the advanced structure of Ryan. But one thing you'll see also is like there's a little bit of a cluster, because by Gravenberch pushing forward the way he was pushing forward, he's a little bit too close on average to Lucho, who has been slowly but surely gravitating towards the middle a little bit more, and encroaching on the space. And you got to keep the spacing here, because we want to have the spacing between our forwards. We have, Lucho's definitely more of a left wing, but you do see him, more, involved in pushing into that kind of inside forward role sometimes, when he does, and he likes to kind of like gravitate toward the center, and that sometimes he ends up bumping into Ryan, or he ends up maybe even crowding the space. But I thought Lucho had a good game yesterday, a relatively decent game yesterday. Not the greatest, but I mean, none of our players had obviously that great of a game, but I thought that he had played somewhat decently. Now, what's the reason why I brought this up is because this is the average positioning of where you're going to see these players perform and play. Obviously Alisson had nothing really to deal with in the first half, so that's why he's so far forward, just trying to keep the ball in their half by when they would clear it, try to do clearances out. Now, here is what it looked like after the subs. Okay. Now, after the subs, this is what it looked like after the subs. And when the subs came in, this is obviously Endo, but with Hackbo and Elliot, this is Elliot and this is Curtis. This is Hackbo over here, actually. You see that all of a sudden, yes, now Curtis is now crowding the space somewhat of Simicast. And then, and you have this line up here where it's like, it's not forward advanced enough. It's like, as in, and that's why you started to see a lot more shot, or you saw so many shots from outside the box. Okay. And, you see that this gap is actually developed a little bit more further wider. And you also see this right here. This is the issue or problem. You see that obviously we have Gomez is not going to play the role of Trent and be an inverted halfback, but he is going to bomb forward and try to do what we normally saw or see our right backs do, or saw Trent do in the past. But you see him cluttered up by Hackbo. You see Hackbo cluttered up by Mo. You see Trent too far back, actually, in my opinion, too far back. I would like to see him a little bit further in this area here, actually. If we're gonna have Gomez playing right back, let him play right back. Trent, get more central. Be more of the distributor and facilitator from that central role. But we're not seeing that because they were really giving Ibu all they wanted. Like they were just like, look, out of any other players, the players that we want to see have the ball are either Endo or Ibu, because neither one of them are really going to facilitate passes that are going to be dangerous passes for us. They're more of like, get the ball, pass it to someone that can really make something happen. And again, this is what we're going to end up missing. And I say Matip is, heads and leaps above Ibu when it comes to passing and everything else. But you are going to see a slight difference in the ability to progress to carry the ball or be able to distribute the ball the way that Matip is able to do. But I thought that Ibu didn't do too poor of a job in that retribute. But this is a concern because this is a big difference from the graph that I showed you earlier. And you can see that the shape and form, we couldn't even tell you what kind of formation that is. When Klopp made his subs, I was like, I don't know where we're going with this. I don't know what formation we're going to be doing. I know that I speak about the amoeba style formation, the real this ever changing positionless almost formation, but this is really, really testament of that. Like, I don't know what formation we were about to do. I see you, Crab. Says nothing to analyze here, 12th man. We were utter hot dog water. Big up, J. Kismet. You never walk along. Blessings to you too, brother. Blessings to you too. But I mean, it was an issue, and this is why, because the issue of it is that look, this is what we're facing in the first half. This is what we're facing. You can see how cluttered the Blue Devils were in their organization. You can see the fact that none of them were really looking to progress forward. None of them were really looking to say to really show that they were interested in trying to bring out any bit of an attack. They were just looking to clutter up that middle and take away that what we were trying to get accomplished in our attack. And you can see it by what you can see. This is their average positioning. This is the Blue Devils here. This is their average positioning. Their half, simply that, period. Nothing forward. You see their goalkeeper in the box, none of that. It was just them in their half primarily, and then even when they subbed on, Rashford obviously wants to press forward, try to get that surprise goal or something along those lines, This is Hoyland, I think. Obviously they're one of their lone forwards to be pressing forward. And again, it still was a cluster in the middle. They still decided that they didn't want to give up that middle to us. They wanted to press us wide. They wanted to say, here, have the wings. We're not going to allow for you to go through the middle. And why I say that too is because of this. And I'm going to end pretty soon here with a lot of the statistics and all this, graphs, but this is just giving a roundabout approach to it, because again, a lot of the verbiage that you're hearing from a lot of the bigger names or the bigger platforms is, the takes that I spoke of earlier. But this is what it was, people. For us right here, this is the progression of the ball. Like, as in for us, the play, this is place where the ball was, where the play was primarily being accomplished. And for the game, primarily 43% of the game was in their final third. 44% of it was, primarily in that mid third, but it was more so in their half of the pitch. And then 13% of the game was dealt in our portion of the field. These right here are how they show. So the darker of the yellow, so let me see here. The darker of the yellow like this means that's more of a condensed or more of a consolidated effort of where we held on or had the ball, basically. Okay. And you can see that a lot of our possession was dealt with, obviously Simicast or Trent, or even sometimes Gomez, having the ball and progressing it from that mid and going forward with it, and we predominantly were on the right-hand side, which normally we are, but we were well more centered towards the predominant side, being the right side. Okay, and then this is obviously Manchester United, as in, like, you know, you can barely see the yellows, if anything at all. You know, they just rarely, if anything, most of their possession was in this little area right here. So these were our shots. These were our shots yesterday. Now, the one that's highlighted just happens to be our first shot of the game. But these were our shots in the game. We had 34 shots in this game. 34 shots. And in this matchup, if you told me we were going to have 34 shots, I would have said we should be the victors. That was obviously not the case, but 34 shots. Now, we also had let's see, I think we had, let me just double check on the accurate numbers. Just when I bring out statistics, I definitely want to show that, you know, what it was that we were actually doing. And that is, I think we had 15 shots outside the box. Let me double check here. We had, okay, so we had 19 shots inside the box. We had 15 shots outside the box. But again, those 19 shots or 15 shots from outside the box, 19 shots from inside the box resulted in us having 8 shots on target, 13 shots off target, 13 shots blocked. I often say, again, when we are analyzing statistics, I often say, like, when you see what we're doing and what we're faced with, if you can see who has the most corner kicks or who's having a lot of corner kicks, that shows you who is more on the front foot. Most likely who is having the more offensive-minded, more offensive-minded aspects of the game on their side. And, you know, we had like 7 corner kicks. I believe 7 corner kicks in the first half. We had, seven corner kicks, I believe. No, 9 corner kicks, in the first half. 9 corner kicks in the first half alone. That's a lot. But I get that I was disappointed in our conversion rates in our corners, because we got a corner in the first like 7 seconds of the game. We were on the front foot. We were just like bombing from the very beginning. And what it was for me was, you know, I thought and would have hoped that we would have, especially with VVD and Ibu and even Endo, you know, in our midst of trying to contend, I thought we were going to get what we needed to get. Oh, big up. Quasi Bold's now with us. I'm going to bring him in as I focus in also. I'm going to bring this last graph up here and bring Quasi in as well with us.
Big up, 12 man. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Let me make sure I can big up. All right. Big up Quasi Bold TV in the house, people.
Hey, big up people in the chat. Was good.
I was just going over some of the things that we were talking about on your show yesterday, and I was bringing up some of the graphs that I brought up, you know, at the very end of the broadcast, which was,
yes,
you know, like I'm showing right now. This is Manchester United's approaches, you know, on the net or on Alisson, and obviously they had very few shots that were like really, you know, tempting or really something that makes someone say, "Oh my goodness," you know. Other than there was one approach by their striker Højlund, who was able to get one real viable chance, but, you know, having the world-class goalie that we do, you know, we snuffed that out. And then we also had one free kick, and that's the one that's like way high that they had right there.
Yeah, they were killing birds. Big up to LMC Aaron. Good to see you. I see Kismet is in the building. Appreciate you guys. Please hit the likes. But yeah, this game, the frustrating is I didn't even care about what Man U did because they didn't do nothing. The only thing that I would give them is they were very their defensive structure, you know, it held for the whole 90-some minutes that they played. So you could say they were very focused. There was no mistakes that they did. And I think that's the best thing they've done since Ten Hag been there. But
Right.
other than that, they didn't do anything, man. They play 4-4-6-0. That's it. That's what Van Dijk was trying to say, that bro, a team like Manchester United, and they came in just to not lose. That's embarrassing to the Manchester United as a whole.
Can you say that again? I mean, like that's basically what my little monologue in the very beginning of the show was all about. Is that like what a absolute as the sheer fact that they are pounding their chest about the fact that they got a draw at Anfield and accepting it and appreciating it as if it's a win is more of a testament of how in the gutter their club and franchise are.
No, I mean, that's crazy. And by the way, shout out to Marianne. Big up to yourself.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and Keane to come out and made the statement he made against Virgil, that was embarrassing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was extremely embarrassing.
I was glad that Sturridge was on the show though to kind of push back, and you can see that Sturridge wanted to go off.
Yeah,
I know personally. I know he wanted to say something out of pocket.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's extremely embarrassing because even Souness came out the next day on Talksport and said, "This is embarrassing. This is Manchester United we're talking about here." Yeah, we could say we didn't lose. Fine, that's fine. There's been some, even Alex Ferguson days, there used to be 0-0s, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there was a reason the 0-0 was two teams going at it and the attacking didn't work. But you came to Liverpool and played 4 in the back, 6 in the middle.
Basically.
They could not pass the ball. You can't tell me at one point where they had 6 strings of passes together.
Yeah.
Right? So with me, yes, I'm frustrated that we didn't win or score a goal because I knew we were better than that. But them having fun, it's embarrassing. Them enjoy. Oh, we did this. No, bro, it's embarrassing. You did not.
It's embarrassing. Yeah.
It's really, really embarrassing. If they had won or even get a goal, okay, you did what you're supposed to do. You got a goal. But there was 7-0 in corner kicks within 40 minutes.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. We had 9 corner kicks in the first half.
That's
9 corner. That's normally like what you get in a game. If you're lucky, that's what you would get in a game.
Yeah.
Like as in you're lucky sometimes if that's a collective.
Yeah.
As in both teams added up together, you get 9 corner kicks possibly.
Yeah.
We had it in the first half.
So that in that part, it needed to. I was frustrated with our club because I know we are better than that.
Yeah.
But jumping for joy, especially somebody like Keane who usually go hard on Arsenal and every other club, say you not doing this, and then you take offense on what Virgil said. You Keane, if you are the one who talking about we won all these accolades, you should be appalled and embarrassed that the great Manchester United club that he represented, the club that he and Alex Ferguson built, and the best they can do is that.
Yeah.
Bro, this is the reason why people are saying City is the new rival to Liverpool.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's why I'm calling them the Blue Devils today, because I gave them the props that they got their point, but I was saying, I thought that I knew we were facing our rivals. I just didn't know that we were facing, a B-Tech Everton.
No, Everton.
I didn't know we were coming against a B-Tech Everton in the Blue Devils.
Everton,
I didn't know.
Everton did way much better than
at least Everton got some shots off.
They got some shots off. They almost scored in the 60th second or whatever that Calvin Lewis almost scored on. So the thing is, yes, for Liverpool fans, some of us are frustrated because it's like we should have done better. We need to, year one, we need to fix certain things. But my new fans, come on.
Yeah.
The way you guys are excited it's embarrassing. This is Manchester United.
Yeah.
Let us sink in for a little bit.
Yeah, it's what it is. You know, I mean, I know that a lot of what we saw in that game was, I think truthfully, a lot of what we saw in that game was he had individuals in that game. Let me go through their lineup here with you. Their lineup was, you know, Hoyland in the front, McTominay, who was the captain of their team yesterday. Okay, I mean, this is a club that McTominay and Fred. He's their best player, and a lot of Blue Devils don't want to necessarily even give him the props this year. They still want him out the same way they wanted Fred out last year. This was their captain of their game, and rightfully so, because I think he's been really a savior for them.
Yes.
And then you had Anthony, who's like obviously, you know, connected to this coach. But you had Garnacho, who was absent. I think he got absolutely.
He was supposed to cook Trent, right?
Exactly. For a player and has all this, like, you know, praise and who's one of their you know, shining silver linings in their team, you know, absolutely went like missing yesterday. Amrabat, who, again, I know that you thought that you had Amrabat being someone that you said you wanted to have you thought had a good game. I didn't think he had a great game, but I know you.
I mean, Varane is the main dude, right? Varane was solid. Yeah. He showed class, and I think his composure kind of helped the back line, and it benefited them. Evans can play expansive football. So all of them, the thing is, they all look good because they didn't have to go anywhere. They just had to sit in the back, make sure they don't make any mistakes, and let Liverpool do what they had to do. If we had scored, I even still believe if we had scored, they would have still played the same way, because they would have fear that if we open up, it's going to be an embarrassment, and we saw it. We did not put the ball in the back of the net.
I agree. That is a good shout. That is a very good shout, because, like, realistically, you know what? Like, they understood the gravity of the game. They understood what they were facing. They understood. They knew what they were going up against, and that's the reason why, like, why I'm stating all the people. So you had the Dalot, Johnny Evans, Varane in the back, and luckily they had Luke Shaw in their back line. And also, what's his name? Manu, I believe his name is, right? Manu, the youngster that plays in their midfield now. Look, I think that that lineup right there and obviously Onana in net, but that 11 is an 11 that is invested in Ten Hag. I believe that 11 that I just mentioned and like, as we've heard that the line that their locker room is 50%. You know, divided against being for Ten Hag.
That's BS. It's called excuses. Their fan base don't want to hold their players accountable. They hate on their best player, McTominay. Ten Hag ain't going nowhere. This time the owner,
Ratcliffe. He can't go anywhere, actually.
Yeah, Ratcliffe will make the decision, but the Glazers right now, they don't care.
Yeah,
I mean, we saw that the Man U fans are upset. It's like siblings that the parent love one.
Yeah, I mean, like, they can't. Just to get rid of him. What was that again?
No, I was gonna
say one more time.
I was gonna say, Man United fans are upset because the Glazers went to the Buccaneers Tampa Bay's locker room and gave some of their players some hug for winning their division. And then my new fans are upset because they never get that kind of love. So it's like the two siblings, that one is loved by the parents and the other one is like, hey, okay, good job, buddy. We're like, bro, owners are not your friends. We keep telling you guys this. Owners are not your friends. All the owners need supposed to do is take care of the club. They're not supposed to be showing up and wearing the jerseys and giving you the thumbs up and kissing babies and giving hugs. That's not their job. They are just owners. It's business.
Right.
The more
Right.
the
And that's
lot the
yeah,
a
that's
lot
the
the
problem.
fans will get their head, they'll get it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what it is with like a lot of what I saw was that why I brought up their lineup is because I just think that their lineup was a team that understood the fact of yes, we'll go out there and we'll sacrifice our own because you telling Bruno, hey, don't go out there and showboat or don't go out there and try to make your like highlight passes or try to take some like hero shots. That's not going. That's not going. Bruno's not accepting that. Bruno is not accepting that concept. I don't even think Rashford's going to really necessarily accept that. I think Rashford came on half-assed. Because considering that he thinks that he probably should start, which there could be a shout for that.
No,
all the same,
it's been proven that when Rashford and Bruno are not playing, the team plays as a team. They play much better,
right?
And they listen to what the manager is saying. Right. When you have Rashford, and there's no way Rashford would be able to play the way they played if he started the game.
Right. And that's if Bruno and Rashford both started the game, I think that we would have had a different mindset for their team. Their team would have you would have had a team with players on there, one thinking don't bend, don't break, and the other thinking, hey,
when I get the ball, I'll do this.
Let's just go all out and just try to get some type of hero result. And that's what we ended up seeing personally, in my opinion. I think that you agree on that as well.
Yeah.
And
no, definitely.
It just ended up not being our day,
No, it ruined our day. Like I said it on my show, I said, LFC fans, you take the L because you are the one who went on Spaces talking about 7-0, 8-0, and all that kind of crap. So don't be upset that we didn't score. You should right now at this juncture of the season, it's 3 points. However you get it, it's 3 points. Anything else is bonus.
Yeah.
Right.
No, and I get that. You know what?
It's not playing freely. I agree. Nothing like that.
I was just going to say your point yesterday about draws being losses in essence, which is the truth. I do look at it as a draw as a loss, especially when we're facing off competition that we should beat. Period.
Yeah.
We get a draw against City. I'm not dejected and beaten. I think that City is a formidable foe. So if we get a win, obviously I want us to get a win. I want us to fight and pursue a win. But the last thing I want to do is lose. I don't want to drop points. Oh. Can't you still there, Quasi? But maybe we'll give Quasi a second because I think Quasi's camera went out for a second there. I can see that he's still linked, but for some reason he's not on the feed. But yeah, that's what I was trying. That's what basically I was mentioning or getting at is that us getting draws is not acceptable. I'm not under the pretense of saying that we should go out there and we should be happy with a draw. Not in any attribute of the word. But what I am saying is that we should, and this is the emphasis on should, be able to get some type of results, period. Okay, Quasi's back with us. You there?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, the phone.
No worries.
Yeah.
It's just we should be able to get some type of result, period. And and I'm under the pretense now, or I'm under the mindset now that I'm now looking at it and I'm looking at it like, hey, you know what? For every 3 draws that we have, that's basically 2 losses.
That's a loss.
That's 2 losses in essence. That's the equivalence of us having 2 L's on our record, and that's something that is unacceptable. That's something that we definitely need to fight towards and better.
And especially home games. I agree with Mariana right there.
Yeah,
you have to win home games.
Right. Marion says, my brother always says you have to win all your home games, period. And that's what I'm dropping the period behind that because or exclamation point behind that, because that is spot on. Your brother's a wise man, Marion, much like his sister. Like it is, it is something that you have to understand. You have to understand that getting a draw against a City again is something that is acceptable. I don't think getting a draw against, despite the fact that we're in the running of Arsenal, for instance, for this league, I still don't think that getting draws against Arsenal is acceptable in any attribute. Because when you're going against the teams that you're faced with title runs against, those are teams that you want to pick up points on, because that's you being able to separate yourself from not only the pack but also from that individual contending pack.
Yes.
But honestly, if you do get a draw, at least it's a wash, as opposed to them getting the 3 points on you, and that's a big difference. Well, let's get into.
That's true. I mean, that's why this coming weekend we have to beat Arsenal, because
absolutely
we have to. We cannot come out. I'd rather lose. I don't want to draw. I'd rather lose than get a draw.
Yeah. I mean, how about this? I don't want to lose, but I don't want to
lose. Yeah. I don't want to lose. I don't want to get a draw. It has to be a double.
In this retribute, a draw would be a loss for me, in a sense.
Bro, that would be 7.
Yeah.
Or 6. That's
points.
Too much. Yeah. That's too much, man. Yeah.
So let's just get into these ratings. Let's just rock through them. We won't put too much context on a lot of these players or a lot of these performances, because honestly, we all saw what we saw, and there's really not much to really be happy about. I don't think anyone had really had a top tier performance at all.
This is the thing, though. This is the thing. I'm sorry, but they did not play bad. They just did not finish.
Yeah.
That was the thing. They did not. They didn't play bad.
Yeah.
They did not finish.
That was 34 shots. That shows that you actually are. You have 34 shots and you have 69% of the possession, or 66. Yeah, 69. Wait, what was it? 69? 68% of the possession for the entire team. That says
that's
something.
unheard of. That's unheard of.
In the second
half. In the Premier League, that is unheard of. That's embarrassing.
It's unheard of to be against the Blue Devils. It's unheard of, really. When's the last time you ever heard of Manchester United being so dominated that they're willing to just allow for you to have possession of the ball like that?
Even
when's the last time that any team has ever played like that for the Blue?
Even when Barcelona was at their peak with Pep, they never dominated. I don't remember when they dominated somebody over 6. They were maybe 65. I mean, it was rare. That was rare.
City does this kind of stuff against teams. I'll be open to say that. The 115, they do this kind of stuff against teams, where they have 70% possession against I don't know, whoever is, whatever bottom tier team that they're playing, because most of the teams that go in against City, when they're facing the 115, they automatically say to themselves, we know we're going to lose this game, so let's just try our best to get a draw. Let's just try to not let them score, and that's that.
Don't embarrass ourselves.
They bring the same mentality that you saw the Blue Devils bring into this rivalry when they usually go against the 115. But but other than that, it's usually just more of a 55, 45, 60, on those lines. But
57 usually that's what it is. Even City at their peak is 57. Right. Maybe for a period of time you will see a 60 something.
Right.
This is 90 plus minutes.
Well, then let's just get into this then.
Yeah.
What would you rate Alisson at? What would you say?
My dude. He
is your dude. I know.
He stepped up at 2 very crucial moments.
He did have a great save. Yes, he did.
He had nothing. You know how hard. This is the reason why we tell people why, if you are looking for a world-class championship caliber goalkeeper, this is one of the most important attribute that the goalie had nothing to do for X amount of time, and then he had to make a super save.
Yes, I agree with that. Having
You see
played
what I mean?
keeper before in my life, I agree with that. Because I know I played on some teams where I would not sometimes see one shot,
Yeah.
But yet, I remember when I was younger, one game I ended up like when we were playing, I ended up sitting down. I
The whole time.
I ended up like there were parts and points of the game that the ball never got over the half line mark, and it was boring. So I ended up like, I was formerly like I was a halfback, or I was in the midfield, and but yet now I was playing keeper, and I'm like, man, this is boring. Sat down. I remember sitting down, and my coach went off on me when I did it.
Like, what are you doing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't allowed to eat any oranges at halftime. Put it that way.
I mean, what can you do? I mean, Alisson could have done the same thing.
Yeah, he could have.
He could have just sat there and just talked to the fans at one point, and nothing would have happened.
No, it wouldn't. But all right, so then what do you did? So so we were saying above average then for those. I don't think anyone really had a top tier performance. I mean, he only had one save to really make.
But that was not his fault. This is my argument. It's not his fault.
I got you.
You have to put him at the highest that you could possibly do. His fault.
I believe you're probably just as for some reason your feed keeps dropping out, but I'll repeat this when you get back here. But what's going to happen is you're probably going to get a little bit of feedback from people in the replay or people in the chat here if you say top tier performance from anyone on our team. But hey, we all are welcome to our opinions. What does the chat wants to tell me? How are you feeling about Alisson? And we'll wait for Quasi to log back in here. Here he is.
Apologies, people. Somebody call me. I would give him at the top if you don't feel comfortable, because it's not his fault. There was no goals against him. He made
I agree with that. I mean, he's got a clean sheet. I mean, that's
he had a clean sheet. That's something
that's all you can ask for your goalkeeper is a clean sheet.
And we've been talking about especially him needs more.
Since you're the guest, I'll keep him. I'll keep him that top tier performance for you. Just for you, since you're the guest, I'll keep him in that top tier.
Yeah.
I would have had him at above average. But which is like a B or an 8 or a B, whatever. If I was giving a grade or something. But I understand it. So let's move on then to Trent. What are we giving Trent in his performance? I thought Trent could be in that top tier performance. He was so close. He was so close to being basically the hero of the match with that one kick that he had on net.
But the thing with Trent, honestly, there's maybe two other players that should be at the level where Alisson is right now. Trent, I thought, was pushing the game. He wanted to win so bad. He didn't. This is the part where I think people don't understand why Klopp doesn't want to have him play midfield. Is he was pushing the case way too much. You see what I mean? There was a time where he just kept pressing, kept passing long balls, even short balls. Was like, we're like, bro, calm the game down. You are in midfield now. Calm the game down and find the right pass. And he wasn't doing that.
Could it be also though that considering that it was obvious that their method or their procedure on the pitch, being the Blue Devils, was that slow them down, slow the Reds down, period.
Right.
In any way, any form, whether it's fouling, whether it's dissent, whether it's like trying to get under their skin, like slow the game down. And maybe it was Trent just trying to notch that level back up by just saying, no, we're just going to keep going. We're going to try to really, really put the throttle down to the hilt here. But
that's the part where if you're a world-class midfielder, you figure another way, because the same way you were doing was not working. You see what I mean? yes, this is where maybe we need Thiago because he would tread a pass that you'd be like, how did he do that?
Oh, there's no maybe. There's no.
You know what I
We,
mean?
we had a fit Thiago. This team would be perfect.
Exactly. So it's
This
like
team would be perfect. Period.
defensively, Trent was good.
Yeah.
There's one part where he fell asleep where they gave him a pass and he was not concentrating. The ball went out for a throw in.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
In terms of midfield,
He had 6 key passes, man. He had 6 key passes.
Mhm.
5 of 14 for his crosses. 12 of 19 for long balls.
So
One big chance created. I mean,
yeah. So I'll leave him where you have him over there. Yeah, I think that's fine.
right there.
Mhm.
Okay. So then, because it's kind of interesting, the app that I use had him at a 9, like as in it had him as a if it's a blue rating, basically means that he's like a 9 or above. They had him they had him at a blue rating actually because of
some of these ratings are made by nostalgic fans.
Well, let's just go. Let's move on then. Let's just move on to then. How about Ibu? How are you feeling about Ibu? I thought Ibu played.
Ibu played very well. Ibu, I was impressed. I would say 8 out of 10 times he did exactly what I wanted him to do. He was not doing that stupid thing of rushing through the defenders. I mean, the attackers every single time because he has to win the ball. I was very impressed with him.
Yeah, he's definitely more measured with his approach. He wasn't Ibu Hulk,
No.
Ibu Stash.
I will have him as where Alisson is because he tried. He was trying.
Oh, you had him at top tier performance?
Oh yeah. No. We have to, when somebody do something well, we have to recognize it. We can't be like, well, Ibu hasn't been playing so well, but no. Yesterday, he was epic because there's a couple of times where they, because Trent was bombed all the way forward, they used the ball against his side and he came back. He wasn't rash. I don't remember him creating too many fouls.
No, he didn't. He didn't foul anyone actually.
Yeah,
he was actually fouled once, but he didn't foul anyone.
Yeah, he didn't foul anybody. Remember that one that they fouled him, that was going to be a goal if they don't foul. That was a professional foul. That was a very smart foul. So that's what I'm saying. He's at the level where he played. I think he played much better.
But you know what's very unique about that is that so he played much better. I'm not saying he didn't. I'm not saying he played poorly at all. But unfortunately for Ibu, Manchester United forced him to be our creator in the sense of giving him the amount of touches that he got. They were fine with him being the person that got the lock share.
And he do, it's like forcing Shaq to shoot threes and he makes 7 out of 10 shots. That is not his fault.
I don't know about that. I wouldn't go as far as to say.
No, I'm just saying.
He's not Klay Thompson, guy. He's not.
I'm just saying. If you do a hack a Shaq, if you do a hack a Shaq on Shaq and he makes the free throws.
Yeah, he's making free throws.
Yeah, that's not his fault.
That analogy I like. That analogy
You see what I'm saying? Now, if you do a hack a Shaq and he doesn't make the free throws, then okay, Eagle, what's wrong with you?
Right.
No,
guess how many? For instance, I was gonna say, guess how many touches he had?
50 something.
Try 116.
Come on, and he didn't misplace any.
116 touches. He was 94 of 106 on his passing, so he's 89% on his passing.
94
4 out of 8, because he was trying to do what you usually see Virgil do, because he had more touches. He had more touches than Virgil.
And look at the passes he was giving, the long passes to Diaz.
Yeah, that's what he was trying to do. He was trying to cross to Diaz a lot more, or to cross whoever was on that left side. Yeah.
He's played the same place where Alisson is. Remember, the defense did not give out the goal.
No, I'm not saying that the defense played poorly at all. If anything, I think they've had an above average performance. The reason why I'm not saying he had a top tier performance because of that stat earlier that we mentioned. 9 corner kicks. 9 corner kicks, and not one of them did we really have a solidified and solid, like, oh wow, that made the keeper have to make a great save. Not one of them.
He had a shot on goal. He did
have a shot, yeah.
Yeah, he had a shot on goal, which was like almost identical to Kwanzaa's. He headed the ball a couple of times during the corner kicks. And also, we have to start looking at the people kicking the corners. It's not dangerous anymore. They just put it in there.
Mm-hmm.
That is not his fault. He has to make the best out of the ball that is kicked to him. Now, if there was, I think there was only one part where he should have scored and it went wide, or it went straight to the goalie. But I'm sorry, Ibu was immense. Ibu and Virgil were immense.
Yeah, I'm looking at his shots. Ibu's shots were so he was the person that had the first he had a shot on goal where he should have put that in. Let's be honest. But I mean, you don't expect him, considering at least he made contact with it this time rather than his Arsenal attempt last time, where he doesn't know what part of the body to use. But he did the swivel and made the kick. He missed it, obviously, resulting in a corner in the first minute, and then he had a shot in the 29th minute. And then he had a shot in the 36th minute, which was a miss. It was a header. 29th minute was a header, and then he had the right-footed kick. The 77th minute was actually the save one. The first minute was he had 2 kicks on. He had two shots. That's pretty interesting. But I would have liked to have seen him score a goal off of one of those attempts. That's the reason why I can't put him as a top tier. He's got that's him again. We talked about finishing our dinner. Ibu, eat.
Yeah.
Eat. And he didn't.
That's true.
He just didn't. And I mean, Virgil
he had the opportunities.
He had opportunities. You got to eat. Dog, if someone's going to throw you a beef rib, have at that thing, man. Chow down like it's a barbecue. You know what I mean?
You gotta eat those sticks.
We in the park.
Bro. What they call it, Texas barbecue, man. You better enjoy it.
Man. That's one of those things. I mean, like, we had all you can eat when it came to corner kicks, and
our boys
I'll just have a salad. No, we can't have that, bro.
All our boys were on a diet.
Yeah, man. This isn't the time to do the intermediate fasting.
Fasting.
We need you to eat.
Yeah.
Well, then, all right, then Virgil. Then, how you feeling about Virgil? And again, if the chat wants to put in what they think, or they feel that the rating too high or rating too low, let us know for sure. And then if you're watching on the replay, obviously tell us in the comments what we got right or wrong. But we're on to Virgil now. What are we talking about? Our captain. I think our captain there was a shout from, let me see who it was. I think it was either LFC Aaron or it might have been Jay Kismet, but I'm looking for it. But there was a shout for Virgil as man of the match, actually.
Yeah, I think he was up way up where Alisson is. He was immense. His leadership, you could see his leadership was on showing. He kept everybody focused, not to be lethargic, and I'll tell you why, when Trent let that ball go, there's a couple of times Trent was messing up and he went at it. And there was a couple of times I think there was even Ibu made a mistake and he went straight to their face. So Virgil was on a mission. He did not want to let people be too lax, So I'll put him where Alisson is.
Also, too, you know what is crazy about it is that when it comes to being a center back, and I showed that chart of where Ibu, the average of where Ibu and where Virgil were on the pitch. When you're playing such a high line as we are or we're doing, it's very difficult to keep, and especially when you have one of the out of the 4 guys that you have in your back line, quote unquote, playing an inverted role and bombing left and right and going all over the pitch. Yeah. it's a definite more measure of importance or
No,
more measure.
he was, in terms of his defense, he had the defensive structure on point. They were focused. They were dialed in. The problem was we didn't finish our meal.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to. I remember who. I'm trying to think who it was. I remember seeing it. There was a shout for him as man of the match, but I will put him gladly
I think he was the man of the match.
next
Everybody
to.
gave him man of the match. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put him next to your boy, to our boy. All right, but I'll give you the definitely top billing when it comes to Alisson. 'Cause I know I've you've been critical
Nah,
on my
I,
ratings sometimes. So I
I
got
just
you.
like people like, oh, he has meant to do, so we give him a 6. I'm like, bro, that's not his fault. You can't blame somebody for not doing his job. He was standing in that sticks.
Yeah,
When there was time to save, he kicked the ball. He made his passes and his distribution was on point.
yeah. I can understand that.
Yeah, he should not be making. If he has to make those super saves, that means something's wrong with our defense.
Yeah, I can understand that. Oh yeah, it was Jay Kismet. Okay, I see it. Yeah, Jay Kismet had him as a man of the match. I was looking for it. A lot of good chats in here. All right, so then let's move on then to Simi. How do you feel about Simicast?
He's in between where Alisson and Virgil is, and
okay, so
Ibu.
you think he's above average, but you don't think he's top tier.
Yes, he was. Yeah, he's in between those lines because this is the best I've seen him. Like the Simicast of the first year he came to Liverpool, where he showed us he could be good defensively and be able to go forward.
I think he's really
he's growing into the
in.
position.
I think he's really settling into the position, and not only obviously he plays left back all the time, so it's not like a new concept per se, but it is somewhat in the sense of the way that we're going about trying to utilize a left back still going forward, but having the responsibilities of tracking back and playing that left back position, and also sometimes playing that left center back position, if anything.
Yeah.
So
right now, yeah, you know what? Yeah, above average, but he's comfortable now, which is good.
He is. He had 5 of 10 crosses, 3 key passes.
He's comfortable, which is very good. His positioning is getting better and better. Robo is going to have a hard time displacing him.
You know what? I think Robbo is going to have a hard time displacing him until Robbo gets his form. Once Robbo gets his form, I'm not going to be under the pretense of saying that Robbo is, or Simicast is a better player than Robbo. I'm not going to go that far.
No, but you see, Robbo has to have a super form. You can't just come in and think that, oh, I'm back. No.
Oh, just because, you don't. He's not going to get his place back in the club just because he's
no. That's not going to happen.
If Simicast is playing better, then then Robbo work towards getting your place back for sure. But yeah, it's difficult when it comes to injuries sometimes because like in most sports you don't lose you normally don't lose your starting position from injury. Most sports have that concept of
coming back is you are the guy, so
you're the guy, exactly. You know what, you shouldn't, the injury was unfortunate, but probably the injury was sustained under you going above and beyond trying to do whatever it was.
But
called.
see, with his injury was not career threatening, just a shoulder injury.
Yeah, for sure. So we should see him be able to get back into form pretty soon.
Yeah.
How about for our boss, for Dom?
I know some people were very harsh on Dom. Average. Because with me, I see average, because I see Dom. The way people
some people had him at below. I'm pretty sure we will probably see a below average here or there for Dom in the chat or especially in the comments.
You see, there's a part thing that the way people are rating it, you have to look at how the manager is using it. That's how you rate the player. If Dom was playing for hungry and he gave us the performance he did yesterday, then yes, I got you, below average. But when it comes to Liverpool, and which is going to be my next campaign, that the manager needs to stop having him run way too much without the ball.
Yeah.
Because he does a lot of running, a lot of, filling in positions because Trent has to do what Trent has to do. That has to stop. Same thing with Gravenberg. That's why now look at him, his hammy gone. You can't have them run like that. Something has to give. So Gravenberg, his shots were very close. He and Salah did not have the good connection. I think we need to move him to the left side of midfield to solidify the midfield side on the left, and then bring Jones on the right, or even Gravenberg on the right.
That'd be interesting. I mean, that would definitely be
because you saw it yesterday. You saw it a couple of times.
Let's say that, like, is that Klopp then basically admitting that he has it wrong, that he has to mix this up and try a different approach, or is it more so like, hey, you know what, let's just get you more fine-tuned and understanding the way that you were, because let's just be honest, he was hitting on all cylinders in the beginning of the year.
But that was energy coming out. But when the season kept going, the Lotto game, Europa, Carabao Cup season, how rigorous the EPL is, eventually takes a toll. And don't forget international breaks.
No, yeah, exactly. He's the captain of Hungary. So, I mean, like, and they're fighting they're trying to get into Europe, and or into the, into their into World Cup and into the stages of what they're doing with, like, with the European competitions that they're in. Sure, absolutely. But I just think I believe that, this is one of the few players that, I guess, having seen the player that formerly wore the number 8 and seeing the player that currently wears the number 8 and knowing the player that made the number 8 great.
But that's the same. You see, the former number 8 problem, his frustration with either him or his agent, is exactly what we talking about Szoboszlai right now, where it's like, you got this guy who needs to have the ball a little bit further up the field, but you got him running like something here.
So then where do you play it? So you want to play him on the left side? If he plays on the left side, he's going to be doing the same thing, though.
But that's the part where I said the manager, my campaign, so that the manager.
Your 4-2-3-1 campaign? I got you.
Yes, my 4-2-3-1 campaign. Because when you do 4-2-3-1, the running is a team running. It's not just one person filling it, because there's 5 guys in the middle. Right now, you got only 3. It's very hard for one person to be taking care half of a field. And then sometimes you say, yeah, you could go to the other side, right? So Pep, I was telling this about Pep on my show last time to Zuberi. Shout out to Zuberi. Henri,
big shout out to Zuberi.
Yeah. Henri explained this on YouTube, that Pep tells them, for the 2/3 of the field, people on the right, you don't cross the center line. Even if you're in midfield, don't cross the center line. The half of the field, right? People on the left, don't cross the half of the field. You stay on the left. I don't care. The only person who could go both sides is number 6, which is Busquets, right? Now, when you get to the top of the field, the front 3 people, you do whatever you want. So Henri,
I can understand. I understand what. Yeah. I understand.
Henri one point said, I had to go to the other side because if I don't, I can see that it's a chance created for the opponent. So I went to the other side, we created a goal, and I scored. He said, Pep pulled him aside and said, what are you doing? He said, I just scored. He said, no, I told you, I don't care. Stay where you are. Regardless of what, I don't care. Stay there. You see what I mean? So even when you look at Grealish, or you remember Mahrez, how many times do you see him going to the other side of the field unless they're kicking a penalty kick? You see what I mean?
Yeah, I understand that. But I mean, at the same time, I understand that because, like, when it's a corner kick, yeah, you're right. We obviously see, like, Trent will be on the if there's a corner kick and he's not taking it, he'll be on the opposite side of the pitch. if it was Robbo or Simicast, he'll be on the opposite side of the pitch if he's not taking the corner kick in that sense. But
yeah,
I get what you're saying about moving Simicast possibly to the left or utilize him, but in a different format than we're technically using him right now, which is a lot of people I've heard it in the forums, I've heard it in the chats, by other pundits, or I heard it in the chats as well, is that we're making the boss play basically a Hendo role.
Hendo role, which is it shouldn't be like that, because even if we don't,
but we're not. I don't necessarily know if we are, though, because why I'm saying that is that there are aspects of it I can agree, and I'll let you land. I can understand that there are aspects of it that we are utilizing him as being a Hendo role to provide cover for that right side, to play defensively, to track back, and be a little bit more focused on the defense as well. But at the very same time, I think that we really didn't. The Hendo role that we're used to seeing, one at its pinnacle or its peak, obviously was when Trent wasn't playing this inverted role. So this concept of what we're expecting from Hendo, was when Trent was still playing as a more of what we consider a right wing back or right back, or whatever you want to call it. Like that's what we were noticing. But towards the end, when we did play the right wing back, Hendo couldn't even perform his quote unquote Hendo role. So we weren't getting a real good sample size, in my opinion, to say, the Hendo role works with an inverted player, and I think that we did kind of see that if we are making him do a quote unquote Hendo role, we were seeing some great contributions from him that if it was Henderson, we would have loved it. But I mean, Hendo couldn't perform on the level of what we've seen.
This is where the manager comes back in again. If you're not going to do that, then bring Trent in midfield. He has to compete. He has to play like everybody else, because I've seen that every time Joey comes in, Szoboszlai gets subbed.
Yeah.
So you never see Szoboszlai and Trent play midfield. We haven't seen it for a consistent amount of time to see, okay, now does it change Szoboszlai's movement? Because now Trent is holding the defense, the midfield, right? The team is sacrificing for Trent to be able to create, because everybody says Trent is our creator. So you want to sacrifice certain players to have Trent show his skills. The reason why people are frustrated is because when he's hungry, he plays high above the pitch. He runs. That guy is a workhorse. But he's mostly on the attacking side of the field. So every time he goes, he scores goals or assists or do both. You see what I mean?
No, I see what you're saying. Well, then, how do you feel then? Because Realism Jared has a good question, or a good statement, I should say. And he's saying that basically Szoboszlai's plays well when Trent is at right back and stays there, and Trent plays out of his skin when he has a free role. So
I've been saying
it's
that
like a catch-22 in a sense of like, okay, Trent plays so great when he's able to go and play this, inverted position, but yet, Szoboszlai plays great when Trent is more of like a traditional, or play more of his traditional role before he became an inverted halfback.
He's not lying, because Joey's been playing out of his skin as a right back.
That's a good shout.
He has a good point. I've said it. Even last year when people were like, "Oh, inverted," I said, "No, don't put him in. Don't give him a free role. Just give him a free role, and let the team fill it accordingly." When you start changing everything to elevate Trent, it affects everybody, because it's not Trent alone that you are elevating. You're also elevating Salah, which they happen to both be on the right side of the field. So everything falls on Szoboszlai and the center back and the defensive midfielder. You see what I'm saying? That's why I say if you go 4-2-3-1, then you split the field into half. And then you guys on the right, you focus on the right. You guys on the left, you focus on that. You have two holding midfielders. The thing is, we haven't Szoboszlai run too much. Look at Gravenberch, same. So
I mean,
that's something.
but the difference is, though, for me, I get what you're saying, but the difference for me is that I think that Gravenberch has athletic ability. He has, like, in the sense of, and that's not a knock against him. It's like, because I know how sometimes if you say athletic ability, it makes it sound like he has no technical ability or any skills, really, or in a sense. He's just an athlete. He's more than just an athlete. He does have skills. And I say that because, I like Michael Vick, for instance, and often Vick wasn't looked at as being a really a great quarterback in any words, simply because he wasn't one of more of your traditional quarterbacks. But I still think that he was a dynamic force at the quarterback role. So, like, when it comes to Gravenberch, though, I just think Gravenberch still has a little bit of a learning curve, or learning to deal with this system and how he can fit into this system with his athleticism and his ability to be able to utilize his pace, to utilize his speed and everything else.
But this is the thing, though.
Let me hear it.
That means the manager is not using them according to their best of their abilities. They are just so good; they just figuring it out as they go.
Well,
because
yeah.
The manager needs to put all of them in a position where they all can show their best.
I get that.
That was Klopp 1.0.
But then that would go against, for instance, then, and I'm enjoying this discussion, and guys, I see that some of you guys are chiming in with some comments too, and please do continue, because, like, if it comes to Gravenberch, then, like, the way you're referencing that maybe he's not utilizing for his skill sets or whatever it is that might be the best utilization of this player, then you can make the same argument then for Curtis Jones. I think Curtis Jones had a different like
we've been saying that now. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming to my side of the argument. My campaign 4-2-3-1. You put him as a 10. You could put him as a 10. You could put him as a.
You want to put Curtis Jones as a 10?
He will be killing it.
Okay.
Because guess what?
Looks like you're getting some likes on that. You got a like on that one.
I
don't know about that. I don't know about that.
No. See, that's the thing. These
I like the fact that he took the route. Not to cross you. I was just gonna say I like the fact that Klopp took the route of saying what was one of the biggest one of the most influential players, unheralded, unsung heroes on this team, and that was Ginny. And, like, when Ginny made the decision to go his separate ways from the club, then it meant that, yes, we needed to find a player that could produce and create those kinds of contributions that we got from Ginny. And I think personally, by what Klopp did, Curtis Jones is on a level or on a trajectory to be an even better Ginny.
But he is not Ginny. That is the thing that Klopp needs to get into his thick skull.
All right, I got you.
He is not Ginny. That's the thing.
All right, I got you.
That's why some people are even saying if what's his name? If Bellingham has come to Liverpool, he would have the same problem as Szoboszlai is having.
No.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. I think Klopp would have probably changed the system to fit him. But it's very hard to debate against that argument.
That's the thing about it. Yeah. You know what? I had this question a long time ago. I think I posted it on Coppers one time, on one of their, caller call-ins. And I posted this question. I'll post it to the chat right now. I'm going to post it to you. Would you rather have a player that's amazing ability that you have to, transform your system to accommodate? Or would you rather have, a good player that highlights or accents your system to another level, or does the system to, like, A-level standards? So, for instance, a Ginny who is, let's not get it twisted, Ginny's not world class. I'm not going to go that far to say some world class talent, but Ginny is a good player in this system, and if anything is creates some really great contributions for this club when utilizing his skill sets. So, but yet, if you had an opportunity to bring a Messi at his prime to this club, Messi doesn't really fit into any of these roles that we have on this club. But yet, yes, then you would probably adjust it to accommodate Messi rather than make him play a different role
But that's the part. This is the frustrating because the manager did it with the club 1.0. The reason why he went tooth and hell for Virgil was exactly what your point is. The reason why we play with such taking high chances is because of our goalkeeper. The reason why Bobby sacrificed scoring goals into making him becoming the system was exactly what your point is. Club build the system, right? He built the system and he put special players in specific areas because they can do a specific job. He changed the system for Salah. Remember, Mane was the Don Dada. And when Salah came in, everything started switching to Salah. And then with the emergence of Trent, made it like the right side was going to be super dominant.
But then, but doesn't that go back then? But then doesn't that kind of go back in the sense of what I was trying to get at is that Bobby wasn't he wasn't a false nine initially when he came to this club, but yet we converted him into Klopp converted him into possibly the best.
But that's the thing. Klopp needs to move on off that style of play because those players don't exist anymore. Look at Real Madrid. Real Madrid, everybody was talking trash about Bobby until Benzema also started making that style of play hot. Then all of a sudden, oh my God, false nine. He sacrificed. Oh, he's such a good team player. He's sacrificing his career for Ronaldo. They don't have those players anymore. So what they're doing, they're playing a number 10, which Madrid hasn't played that formation in years. Hence the reason why Bellingham is scoring all those goals because he is the number 10.
Okay. Well, so then answer this question. Answer this question then. Because this is directed to you then. Directed to both of us actually. But he's Realism Jared is saying Trent, Grav, Diaz, the boss, and Salah are all at their best when in a free roll. What are your thoughts?
You can't just have.
And he also said this too as well. Bobby Firmino, the most technically gifted player we've had, and also incredibly high football IQ. So that goes to
You can't give too many players free roll, then you have chaos. There's no organization, then everybody's just running over there. You know what I mean? You could organize the team because Dortmund club, there's only one player who had a free roll, and that was Marco Reus. Everybody was structured to do a specific job, right? But that's the thing that annoys me because that team is exactly the team that I want.
Right.
Those players are the players that he has right now.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, the 4-3-3 it's hard.
I know. Yeah, I know.
It's hard.
You think the 4-3-3 is dead. I got you.
It's dead. It's hard. That's why even Pep
I just think that what's dead is that we don't play formations the way that we conceptualize formations any longer anyway.
If the manager has to make 3-4 formation in one game, okay, bro, figure out what you saw the pictures.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I got that. With the
you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So you have to play. You go back to the basics. Even if you want to stay with the 4-3-3, go back to the basics. Go back to the basics. Keep it simple. That's what I'm saying. There's a reason why CD is struggling, and people think that because he doesn't have the players. No, he is a great manager, and everybody say he could make everybody great. There's a reason why they're struggling.
Well, this is Realism Jared. Once again, this is why, like the Mighty Res Army, like I love the fact that we have like very informed and like very intelligent football IQ, very high football IQ people in the chat here, because this is what he's saying. He's saying, hence my point. He's saying, hence his point that we have too many players that want that free roll and drift into that space, I guess, leaving us in the state we are in now, in his opinion. He asked, what do we think? And he says, too many of these same profile of players. And
because we have too many Swiss Army players. And the thing with Klopp is he wants players he doesn't want to restrict players into one position.
Okay, so yeah.
That middle field three is not set in stone. They could all interchange.
Right. All right, well, let me just say this. Let me say this because we got like we only got through like 6 players. Now we're getting all intellectual.
Let's go in.
but the last say I was going to at least give on that is that, look, I can understand that people don't like the Swiss Army knife style, Swiss Army knife style players that you're referencing. I personally know and understand the fact that football has consistently, grown or adapted or adjusted or developed into different forms of the game that were originally, able to conceptualize, and that having Pep Linders, being a major influence in the locker room, having, I think that it goes to show that Pep has somewhat brought this heavy metal style football of what, because originally we were playing a 4-2-3-1 when Klopp came to. Okay. So, this hard, heavy metal, concept and football and everything else has been adjusted somewhat to be that total football concept that we see very, very prevalent in Holland or in the Netherlands. And that's something that, look, I you either love it or hate it. I get it. There's not many. There's some people that don't want to necessarily sit on the fence on it. But I personally like that kind of concept. I like the ability to be able to adjust players and have to say, okay, well, hypothetically, if we need to move a player to left wing, I can move Cody from striker to left wing, and still believe that I can get production and contributions out of that role, and then I can bring in a striker, or we can move.
Okay, let me ask you this. The new players, including Curtis, which ones were playing 4-3-3 in their former team?
Other than Curtis, you said?
No, including Curtis.
Oh, okay. Well,
because Curtis at the academy, he was the number 10.
Yeah. That's a good point. Look, a lot of these players are not playing the positions that they initially played in the academy, though.
Yeah. So Curtis, we know Curtis can play on the left wing, but he can't play the club style of left wing.
But if you go as far as to trying to make these players play, quote unquote, the roles or positions that they normally played, then we're going to definitely struggle to get a real 11 on the pitch, considering that a lot of these players don't necessarily Cody doesn't necessarily play striker per se, with Holland really doesn't really play it too often, or he plays it every once in a while, but he's more of a left wing, in the role they played in his club team. And yet we're still seeing Cody.
Cody plays into a 3-5-2 system, right? So he's usually the second striker on the left, or he's the direct striker in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Klopp, when he first got to Liverpool, they put him on the left and then they put him on the right. Then later on, they put him in midfield. But this is the part where bringing Cody in, he's getting frustrated because he's not getting more time. That's why he shows up. He starts playing Iverson balls.
Well, then here's what Realism Jared said. And this is a great, I like that. I enjoy it because I like including the chat in our conversations. So it's just not, because so many times I get onto these platforms or these forums and it's just two people talking and the chat ends up not being able to, bring in their points or bring in their questions. And that's something that's not going to be a part of this platform. And it's not a part of Quasi's platform either. He engages in the chat immensely. So Realism Jarrett says Klopp has to make these players buy into a system and make them thrive and give them their moments in different games to shine, a la the way Bloody Fergie did, much to my dismay all those years. And that's what, Realism Jarrett, you're on spot on, because realistically, with the run of games that we've had where we've actually won, I think we just tied, if not broke, Fergie's record.
We tied it.
We tied it, okay.
Mhm.
With the come from behind, the Fergie time style victories or results that we had. And I mean, it's because these players are definitely doing exactly what you said, which is
But
buying
the thing
into a
is,
system, and rather than like throwing their toys, at the rep, or excuse me, at the coach and in the social medias or on the pitch, they're saying,
mhm.
I'm going to do what's necessary to be done. It's going to be like that whole like
But
Harvey Elliott concept.
that is the thing where Zuberi's question was so prevalent when he asked me, is it the players who are so good, or is it the manager? You
I
see
think
what I
so.
mean?
I think it could be what
It
do they
could be
say?
both. It could
It
be
could be
both.
both.
But the question, like what realism is trying to figure out is, he said Klopp has to make them believe. They already believe in Klopp. The question
Yeah,
is
one of the reasons why they're here is because they believe in Klopp.
exactly where they're here because they believe in Klopp.
Yeah.
Now, our question to Klopp is,
Or one of
is this,
the reasons. It's not the sole reason. Before Ensman TV tries to like go at us for saying that, I said that comment about like how there are players out there that choose teams or choose clubs because of because of the coach, because of the influence that the coach might have
but
over them, or
that's
because
true.
they just want the team. Yeah.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Well, Ensman doesn't necessarily believe in that, but that's why I wanted to make sure that we
Well,
had
it's a,
that
we have
clarification. I don't,
he
you
he
know,
should he should have known a lot of times that Liverpool could not get certain players because they didn't believe in Brendan Rodgers. So
yeah, oh, absolutely, I agree with that completely.
yeah,
A lot of players, I mean, Sterling basically, opted out because of
Brendan Rodgers, yeah, exactly.
one of the reasons.
A lot of
That's one of
players
the
came.
reasons why. It's not
Yeah,
the
a lot of.
sole reason. That's not the lone reason. Like I should say, it's one of the reasons.
Mhm.
But yeah,
But
let's. I'll let you have the last word on this, and
oh
then
no, I mean, I was just
we'll get
gonna
back.
say we now the question to which is my campaign is, Klopp, are you putting the players in the positions for them to succeed? That is my question. Your system, we know your system works because you have won championships with it.
Mhm.
But now the question is, because everybody say Klopp can do a 2.0, right?
No, I don't. I never did. I was actually, so
No, man,
I was
I'm
one of the
trying.
few that I was one. I was after, very few have exactly. I'll agree with that.
Okay,
Very few have,
so
because I know I got
so
a lot of stick. I got a lot of stick for me saying that I believe that this manager can. If there's any manager that can do it, I believe that Klopp can reinvent this club one more time. Considering that he basically took, when he first initially got to Liverpool, he kept the team that he was handed, got them
mhm,
to two finals, albeit lost the two finals, but got
mhm.
him to two finals, and then started to reinvent the club from there and created it in his own image. And now he's had to redo that same tactic again. So
So then one part of doing that is putting people in the right place to succeed. Even if you want to make one person the system, like Bobby, like
mhm.
Salah, like Virgil, like the goalie, the rest of them you have to put him in the right places according to their skill. Just because it worked for Genie doesn't mean it's going to work for everybody else. There's never going to be another Bobby. And as great as Benzema was,
Mhm.
he was not Bobby.
No,
You see how much
they're
Jesus
two
is
different players.
struggling.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're two different players for
you see
sure.
how much Jesus is struggling with Arsenal trying to play that false nine narrative.
Oh,
So
yeah, Jesus, yes, for sure.
yeah, you see what I mean? I mean, he's
Yeah, but
trying.
I
He's
mean,
doing.
I just listened to, who was it? Craig Burley say that Jesus is better than Darwin Nunez, which I don't agree with. But I mean, like
Well,
but I mean, it's one of those things where it's like
that's a gender mentioned. If Darwin starts scoring goal, he's gonna change his mind again. Those people I don't listen to.
Realism
But you
Jared.
know,
I'm gonna bring up Realism Jared's comments, and then we're gonna rock back so we can get through, because I don't want to hold. I know you're a working man. I want to take
yeah.
too much of your time. Realism Jared says choosing to play for Klopp by signing for him is different than the real world experience of him. You are all aware of what a hard taskmaster, Klopp is.
Mhm.
And he goes on to say that is why players tend to burn out under Klopp and Guardiola. Most don't last more than 3.5 years.
That's facts. He's
Yeah,
not
that's
lying.
a hard and harsh fact. But yeah, I agree with that.
No, it is a harsh fact. I mean,
They demand excellence, but they also are at two teams that, that are always fighting for the
okay.
top level, whether it was in Germany or England.
You see, people don't get it, and I'm gonna say, reality is about to hit Klopp. I mean, Pep. The same thing it did happen to Klopp. Klopp has started his re-evolution a year faster than Pep. And those two managers needs to realize that they did something that we will never see in a very long time. When them two come to reality, the first person who come to reality will have a sustainable career. The one that doesn't is going to end up like Mourinho or Conte, who think that their old style of, even Simone, who think that their style of pragmatism and packing the backs, and just being the showmanship on the side is going to win them more trophies. There's a reason why Alex Ferguson lasted that long. Alex Ferguson went from becoming the coach to become the manager and started hiring new coaches. And those coaches modernized the game for him. Pep and Klopp, I'm telling you right now, for Pep and Klopp to be able to move forward in their career is the one who's going to realize that, okay, my old system is not working anymore. I need to come up with a new one. Pep did it he did it twice. When he went to from Barcelona, he went to Bayern, played the same style Barcelona was playing. It didn't work. That's why they never won the Champions League. They won the league, but never won the Champions League. He came to England and he realized that he could not bring that Bayern Munich style to England. So he created a new system. Same thing with Klopp. Klopp had to reinvent the gegenpressing 3 times.
No, I get what you're saying. Well, all right. Well, let's just get back into it then. Before we get too more philosophical or anything. Big up to I Love Liverpool, which we all do too. Saying hello to the chat and to the panel as well, of course. Big up. So then for Endo, then how are we feeling about Endo's performance? I thought Endo had a good. I think Endo had an above average performance.
Endo was amazing. He was amazing. I'll put him with where Trent and them guys are.
Yeah, I can see that. How about for Ryan then? How do you feel about Ryan?
Gravenberch is the same place as Szoboszlai,
right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We're on the same page. Okay. Lucho. How about Lucho?
Lucho, where Trent is, he did. I was impressed with Lucho actually. I thought
Lucho had a good game. I thought Lucho had a good game, despite he didn't get the result that I would like to have seen him get, obviously. But I thought he had a good game. A good game.
If Lucho keep playing like this, I'm telling you, the old Lucho, you will see the old Lucho.
You'll see it. You'll see some results. He's just got to keep grinding. He's just got to keep grinding. Hard work, dedication pays off in the end.
And that's all. And I don't want to bring the philosophy back again.
Yeah.
The manager has to let him get enough of the ball. He is a ball dominant player. You can't just give him every 10 minutes, give him the ball and expect him to do what he did at Porto. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
And people need to understand that.
Yeah. I'd also like to see, I think, I saw him get, dispossessed from the ball a couple of times here and there, but I like the fact that he's even trying to attempt to make those kinds of attempts, those kind of dribbles attempts. And I also would like to see him get a little bit more spacing, maybe like work out something that if he is going to do these runs, maybe, have Nunez do an overlap with him or something, or, or figure out like how to open up that channel where like maybe Nunez takes his player or takes that guy that's marking him out of that channel so that it creates some space for him. One of those things, but there was a comment here that was directed to you, I think. It'd be you or I. Oh, yeah, to you. It says, this is what I Love Liverpool says. Quasi, and Linders is kind of that guy for Klopp. He's the one who got Trent inverting. And I agree completely. I've said that, like, I think that Pep has an immensely and powerful impact or influence in this locker room, you know.
Yes.
And I think that he's much maligned by, like, you know, when we don't reach the levels or don't have the performances that we want to. And then when we do have the performances that we do, he's often forgotten as if he had no role in it. I think that's
role into it, yeah. But the thing is, one thing that I will say on top of that so we can move on is Klopp and Pep needs to stop trying to please the players and just come up with a system that will benefit the club, not just, we want Trent to do this, we want Salah. No. Come up with a system and let them learn.
Well, okay. Well, then and speaking of, what about Nunez then?
As Nunez, where should we put him?
Yeah.
In terms of ranking, or you asking me a question?
Ranking.
Oh, ranking. Szoboszlai. Where Szoboszlai is? It wasn't his fault. There's nothing he did.
Yeah, I mean I agree completely. That's why I want to make sure.
It's not his fault. He didn't get. Yes, there's 2 times where he got the ball that he has
to definitely. One thing I will say is that I like that energy and enthusiasm for the game gets, and that drives him. But at times too, he has to dial it down. I mean, like, I know he's really, really pressing for a goal. He wants to obviously, bring us glory. But yeah, I mean, like, the same way that they're the same way. What's his name? Diego Dallo, right? The same way that he got a yellow that became a red. It could have easily had the same reaction from this referee. It was just fortunate that it was at the time and place that it was for Nunez. I think people don't recognize the fact that I think Diego Darlo said
cursed him out.
Yeah, he said
cursed
him out. I think he said something that was out of pocket to him, and I think that we're not paying attention to possibly what he said the entire game, because there's other instances where, like, he was involved in some questionable tackles or engagements.
Yes.
But, okay, well then, Mo Salah, our Egyptian king, where are we putting him? Mo Salah, who had
above
70.
No, we're not going to even do that. We're not even going to do that, because then we start to give him what he has done for the club. For that particular game, put him where Trent is. He didn't.
Put him where Trent.
Yeah. We're not going to be, then people start giving him accolades that he didn't deserve because of what he did.
He's supposed to be the superstar of the team and everything else, But I mean, he had 4 shots on target, but those shots were not anything to worry about.
Nothing. There's nothing he did. I mean, he wasn't bad, but he wasn't Salah. And I'm sorry, he raised that. He put himself in. He put himself in. It's like Messi. Messi, you didn't play well. Well, nah, bro, you are Messi.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I'm saying about Salah is the same way. Salah's in that era with Messi, in the sense of. Yeah, in that, I'm not saying that he is Messi, but what I am saying is that he has the same,
he's in that
grading curve. He has the same grading curve that you apply to a Messi or Ronaldo. Like these superstars, he has the same curve when it comes to that. And look at this though. This is a testament of where Darwin is right now. Even Marion, his sweetheart, is saying, that she loves Darwin so much, but even she is beginning to feel slightly worried because he does need to step up his game.
But this is the part, and I'm not going to blame Darwin anymore. I'm going to look at the manager. There's a reason why you brought him up from a club. That club, what formation was he playing? You spent almost 2. You see what I mean? This is the part we have to start looking at those. Otherwise, then the manager is just getting a free pass. You see what I'm saying? There's 2 strikers, Gakpo and Nunez. And this is go back to Henri. Henri is like, I know Perez can give me this pass, but I know um, somebody else can't. So I look at that person's strength and I make my run based on that person's strength. And I know how Perez will give me the pass, so I run this way. That is
No, I
what we
agree.
need to
I mean,
start
I
doing.
love Liverpool saying the same thing you're saying. He says hey, it's not Darwin's fault. He makes runs and and Ryan and Dom drive forward instead of passing. I mean, like, you know,
It's not his fault. We need, yes,
yeah, he's saying, yeah.
the one that is his fault is when we give him into onto his plate and then he's scuffing. That one is him.
Yeah. Well, then,
But
for instance, though we had both Gomez at a parting point where we knew that we were going to have to really fight for this game to get like a goal. We brought in we brought in
Gomez,
Cody and Gomez,
yes.
and we brought in Gomez so that Trent could be more of that midfielder role that
Mhm.
people have been pushing for him to have. How are we rating then? What did we say? What do we think Gomez's performance was? What do we think? And then we'll move on to Cody's performance.
Do you like how, okay, before I give you one, do you like where Gomez played?
I like Gomez in any of the four roles that he plays on the team.
No, but against Manchester United, did you like
I like the
him?
fact that I didn't mind. I didn't mind as long as I don't see. Obviously, by keeping Trent in, we kept him in as for the midfield solely, pretty much. But I don't want to see. I don't want to see Gomez playing an inverted role. I don't want to see him, despite the fact that sometimes
But he never did.
he has played. He has
No, no,
played.
no. Yesterday. I'm talking
Oh,
about
not
yesterday.
just yesterday. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's why
He,
I'm agreeing with you. Yeah, I like the fact that he was playing more of that traditional or that more understood role of what we
mhm.
utilize right back in, which is utilizing the wing space, because that was the only space that they were really giving us were the wings. So yeah, I like the fact that he was on
I'm
that.
gonna say this. I like the energy he brought. That's exactly the same thing I was telling you about the Crystal Palace thing. When he came on, he brings a new set of energy. He runs. He goes
I
back
think he
and
brings
forth.
a. I bring. Yeah, I think he brings a set of understanding his role. I think.
Exactly. So he the game is simplified for him. He
Yeah,
does simple things. He does simple things. Like he almost scored a goal.
yeah.
You know, he didn't play that long, but if you were to ask me, he was above
Oh
average.
wow, I
Yeah,
love
the little
Liverpool.
minute that he
Do you see this? I don't know if you see this comment from I Love Liverpool, but
what's it?
Joey, he says Joey killed it. He gave more width, which I agree,
Thank
right
you.
away and
Thank
tucked
you.
in when he needed to. But he thinks this is I Love Liverpool. He thinks he might be better in that hybrid role than Trent. I
I
don't know.
agree.
Oh wow.
I
Hey,
agree.
hey, look at
I
it. I
told
love
you.
Liverpool. You have
I told you this.
Quasi on board with you.
I told you this against the Crystal Palace game because Joey knows his limitations. That's one thing about Joey. He knows he's not Trent. He knows I can run the line and cross, or I can bamboo. What they call it? Bulldozer himself through the middle if he need be. He's not
Yeah.
trying to play that. He's not
Mhm,
trying to play the midfield. He's just trying to make sure nobody comes his way and then he bumps forward. That's it. Keep it simple.
mhm. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. um, big up to Philip. I understand. And if you got going on, hey, if you can always, if you can leave this tab at least open or something so that you can stick with us. But good luck on the quiz. If you're actually participating in the quiz, then yeah, good luck on the quiz on Statman Stubbs.
Pay attention.
We're on the last, so then we're on the last three for us for right here, and that is Cody. Then, how are you feeling about Cody?
Cody, I'll put him where Sobosala is because I think he was trying too much hero ball. I understand why he's doing that. He's frustrated. He wants to be the starter. He wants to play from jump. But
Yeah,
keep fighting, keep fighting, keep fighting, keep fighting. But you can't play hero ball when we're trying to win. Okay, so
no, I agree with. I agree with. Well, then, how do you feel? I personally have been very critical of Curtis as of late, because I'm definitely one of his biggest supporters. But I thought Curtis is in a sunken place slightly right at this moment. He doesn't have the same I guess he's not in the same mindset as Elliott, because both Curtis and Elliott were subbing on together. And I thought Elliott had a good performance. I think he brings energy always. He brings that above energy, above, commitment and everything. But I also just thought that Curtis, there was a moment where Curtis and Cody got into an argument. And I admit that it was something that Cody should have passed to Cody. I mean, Cody should have passed to Cody. Cody should have passed to Curtis, excuse me. And because Curtis had an inside track on getting into the goal, and he could have and obviously he was trying to, contribute or make a run to possibly score a goal, which he was in on goal if he just gets that pass. And rather than pass it to him, Cody took the shot, and it was a weak, very weak and lackluster shot that he got off. But yeah, so I see that we're at the 2-hour mark. So I'm going to be like, we're about to land this plane, buckle your seatbelts and put up your tray tables. We're about to land this plane. So I don't want to take too much of Quasi Bold's time. I know he's a working man, like all of you are, or most of you are, I guess, but I love Liverpool says, should Cody start over Nunez? I think that Cody will start this week, or I think Cody should start against West Ham. I don't think that Cody should start against I don't want to see Cody. I don't say want, but I don't think Cody should start against Arsenal, but I believe he should start against West Ham this week. And there was something about a question. Let me get to Realism Jared's question. Big up to Quasi, because Quasi's got to go take care of some work business. No problem at all, brother. Appreciate you signing on. There was a question here. It says, guys, when the rains are done, quick word about our woeful passing and the possible reasons for it. I'm gonna deal on that. I'm gonna definitely bring that question back up as a final thought. And the question is here. Jones was in the same spot as Diaz, though with nobody feeding him. And I agree. He wasn't the facilitation to the left side isn't the same as the facilitation to the right. It's the reason why, again, I said 76 touches, I believe, for Mo. Like the majority of the touches were going towards the right side. That's why that graph showed what it did. Also, I know he's still listening, but Marion's saying good night to Quasi, and you'll never walk alone to you, brother. And there was one other thing too. Realism just says, to be honest, it felt like instructions from Klopp were to shoot near the box, to shoot outside of the box or anywhere you had it. Just take a shot, take a crack. And you know what? I can't really fault him for that concept, considering that their goalkeeper is not a good goalkeeper. I mean, he's not a great goalkeeper for any matcher. For the word, a lot of people have put him in that from his form with Ajax and his form in the Champions League last year. I think that he's definitely if you can get one or two by him, all of a sudden his form completely dips. But I think that I definitely think that is the case with him. And I think that's all of our guys. I can understand that you guys. I didn't have anyone being below average, because obviously I think that I personally think that there could have been some players or some people that were in below average. I know that some people were going to be putting him in that place. What did Realism Jared say? Oh, my fault. I'll bring up your question in a second. I think it's just holdover from the Fulham game, to be honest. Four is misfiring and so many midfielders looking for worldies. That's a good shout, to be honest with you. And agree, we hardly tested Onana. He is an average shot stopper. Look, the reason why they picked up Onana, what's his name, is because he is a goalkeeper that is apparently good with his feet, but he is still a player that I think is woeful at best when it comes to shot stopping. And it's one of those cases where I really would rather see. I'd rather see you just test him. Unfortunately, a lot of our shots weren't shots that really gave him much measure of testing. A lot of the shots that we got on him were right at him. Whether it was the header from Verge, or whether it was the shot from Ibu, or whether it was whoever was getting the approaches that we were getting, they weren't really measured approaches that made him really have to be tested. And the one shot that we did have on goal, or not necessarily on goal, excuse me, that was off target, but was one where it made him go into like slow motion, was the shot by Trent that whizzed by the post. It was one where like he just stopped and looked at it and could do nothing but admire it going through. And I agree with you, yeah. Marion says Onana is a terrible goalie. I agree. That's the reason why I think, hey, we just said, hey, just get some shots on him on net, or just get some shots and let's just see if he can. The chances are he won't be able to stop all of them. And Onana was a one-season wonder. Realism, Jarrett saying, still jury's out, to be honest, especially if a big club like Manchester United, where he will get eaten alive. Oh, he'll get eaten alive by his own fan base, and also by a lot of teams out there that have definitely measured and shown that he's, that he is someone looking for form whatsoever, right? One that doesn't have any real form, in my opinion. So yeah, man of the match. We had so man of the match. I'm going to go with since I'm alone on this. I'm gonna bring this back up real quick. Man of the match. We only have 2 candidates for man of the match. I'm going to go with Verge for being man of the match. I don't think that Alisson had too much to really worry about. He did keep us in with that one or two great stops, but I think Virgil was man of the match. Marion agrees with me. I know that it was Jay Kismet that said man of the match for Virgil as well. Marion is in agreement with me as well on that. Realism Jarrett saying that Alisson is truly a beast of a goalkeeper. I agree, but I think for this measure of this game, I think Virgil held on the back line. Oh, wow. Realism Jared has Simicast as being man of the match. That's a very interesting shout. A very interesting shout. But I just think man of the match was Virgil's to be warranted. I Love Liverpool has either Virgil or Endo. That's a good shout, too, as being man of the match. I just think that I think Virgil being the captain of the back line held it down, was able to command a high line, gave very little for them to worry about, was active in being his offensive and being offensive minded, trying to get. I would have liked to have seen him get a couple more well placed headers in the crosses that he got, but all the same, I thought Virgil had man of the match type performance for a game that was lackluster, to say the least. So, look, our 0 calories 7-Up, our sugar-free 0 calories 7-Up rendition this year. Have a great week to you too, Realism Jared, for sure. Thanks for showing up and showing some love, contributing. And like I said, I appreciate all the contributions that you guys make. I like engaging and keeping you guys a part of the show. And I always will keep that. And especially those that were, day ones for me, I'm going to always show love for you always. So again, our man of the match, Virgil van Dijk. We move, as our friend and my friend and your friend as well, Matt from Copper Slice to say, we move. Good night to Marion. Good night. We're about to land this plane once again, like I said. And I just think that we're going to move to West Ham. I'm going to have a preview of the West Ham game. Let's see, depending on when the game is. Let me see what time the game is, and depending on what time the game is. So it's at. Okay, so it's an afternoon game for me. So what I'll do is I'll do a preview an hour and a half before the game starts for that West Ham game on the 20th. And what I'd like to say is thank you all for joining me. If you're watching this on the replay, please do leave a like. be sure to leave a comment. It all helps in pushing the algorithm to allow for my show and your show too, because we're all the 12th man. So allows for it to pop up on a lot more people that might not have necessarily shown or seen what it was. I'll just say that for right now. But I would like to say thank you for showing love. I wish you a good night to those across the pond that might be taking it down. I wish you a good day for those of us that are still getting, into the beginning of their day or into the afternoon portions of their day. And yeah, we move on to West Ham, people. Let's get this win against West Ham. It's again at Anfield. Let's hopefully have an Anfield that even when we're down, hopefully we have an Anfield that picks up our team to have that team rise above and show and honor that badge. So until Wednesday, I guess, hey, be good to yourselves, be good to others, take care of yourselves, especially, and continue to take on those that take good care and take care of those around you. Sorry. Especially if there are Reds, hey, each one show love to. So until Wednesday, I bid adieu, and I wish the best to each and every one of you. And I appreciate each and every one of you, of course, but I'll see you soon. So I'll see you on Wednesday. Take care, and you'll never walk alone.